We already saw the Montech AX120 fan in action when we reviewed the Sky Two case. They were alright. They might not have been the best fans we've ever seen, definitely not, but they are a worthy fit for a fan you can get for free when buying a case. Now Montech has released them as an independent and individual product, so let's take a really close look at them and determine if they are truly okay or if it's just okay for free. Similarly to a bazillion fans out there, these Montech AX120s come in a small standard-sized fan packaging containing the fan and a bag of screws. The fan itself is a carbon copy of what we saw in the Sky Two case. A PWM and 3-pin ARGB controlled 1600 RPM fan pushing 59 CFM at 1.8 mm of H2O, so definitely on the case fan spectrum, and thanks to the 500 mm long cables and hydrodynamic bearing, they should be both not too loud and relatively handy to install. However, one huge downside that already comes out of the box is the fact that the 3-pin ARGB is single connection only. There is no daisy chaining going on, and that's an issue. That should have been the case. Upon investigating until my eyes bled, I found that these are not the exact ones that come inside of a Sky 2 case, because these got a little rubber ring around the screw hole. Woo. Other than that, it's the same verdict as we already said in the other video. The RGB is nice. The strip is going in a circle around the fan, which is not really a circle but more a square with every edge a bit rounded off. And although the fan is miles away from something like a Noctua or God forbid a T30, it seems okay-ish, solid and not too budgety to my taste. It's a bit on the budget side, but it's not like white label thing. The LEDs are relatively strong and I can't count them, so no eye cancer for me today. But what about the performance? If not for free, are they good enough to make the effort of purchasing them separately? For our first test, we installed them onto our fan box, a synthetic case fan simulator that measures the performance of a fan based on its ability to recycle the hot air within the case with the cold air outside. Allowing the AX120s to go all in resulted in a 45.1 degrees C above ambient temperature, which is not too shabby at all. Still behind the Arctic P12, but outperforming other notable fans like both Noctua slow spinning S lines and even their quicker P12 and F12, so not bad so far. Slowly lowering the fan speed in 10% steps allowed us to create a noise to performance graph. On here we saw that although the max performance looks impressive, there is a tiny bit of forcing involved. Compared to the max performance graph, the AX120 seems to be falling slightly behind. Not too far like the Chief Nova, not even close to them, those were shockingly bad, but realistically speaking they are pretty much like iceberg thermal ice lead silence, just with a bit of brute force at the higher end speed. Even if the fans are not marketed as radiator fans, their 9 wings kinda suggest that they could do something on top of a radiator. So we slapped one of them onto our 80mm thick radiator of the Octopus and we tried to find out. At 14 degrees C, however, I can see why they are not marketed as radiator fans. The corresponding noise to performance ratio, on the other hand, is not that bad actually. Yes, they are still behind every relevant fan on the graph, but they are surprisingly close to the Phanteks M25, so it's kind of a good job here. So overall, they are not the best fans out there, definitely not. However, they are okay, and they go for slightly below 10 bucks a pop here where I live, and that's also okay. Slightly more expensive than, for example, an Arctic P12 ARGB, but I've seen worse. I've seen far worse. And they exist in black and white, which is great if you need to follow some sort of color rule, but I believe that these fans have a very specific purpose, because similarly as we have already seen inside the Sky 2 case, there is more than just a white and a black version. This reverse spinning one, meaning that it's blowing air out on the nice looking side instead of sucking it in. And that's the special ingredient of this series, because not only can you get a bunch of relatively inexpensive fans and plaster your PC full of that eye cancer RGB, but you can also stuff the bottom and the side of your case with them whilst making sure to hide the ugly looking backside of the fan causing you gonorrhea. But are they performing similarly, or is there a huge performance penalty for putting a fan together the wrong way? Well, that's not for today, as the RX120s are a completely individual fan. They would also get their own spotlight in a separate video. So where do we stand right now? As a budget fan, sure, they will do it. They look relatively nice. The performance is not too bad, it's really not the best, but it's not like not usable at all, and the ARGB implementation seems to be okay. They are not revolutionary by any means of the word, but they are okay. Especially if you already have a Sky 2 case and you just need 2 more to fill the case, then it makes total sense. Anyway, I think this should be all for Montech and their AX120 PVM ARGBs. At this point, a huge thank you to them for sending them over. On a side note, we also have a Discord server, so if you want to join, the link is down below. And of course, we still have channel membership, so if you are looking for a good way to sell your soul for an RG poop emoji, that's a pretty good way to go. Additionally, you can rest assured that the income will not only keep the channel afloat, but it will also serve to buy a bunch of medication, because I reversed the fan once during a B-roll shot and I saw the ugly side, and I'm just not feeling too well now. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to continue, have a look at our take on the Chieftronic Nova fan set. If you ever had doubts about a spec sheet, that video will make you doubt everything even more. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.